capitalism has definitely always been on the wrong side of history. Think prisons.
So prisons aren't a capitalist institution. Every country has had prisons, but let's see what the socialists did with their prisons. So the Soviets killed 1.6 million people in their gulags. Then they rounded up all the gypsies, who they viewed as vagrants, 5,000 of them, and deported them to labor camps in Siberia. Then they put that into law. They made a criminal penalty for persistent vagrancy. This is how they abolished homelessness. They rounded up all the homeless people and imprisoned them for up to 2 years in a corrective labor facility. 4 years for repeat offenders, which is all of them because they're homeless. See, they didn't have capital incentives for labor, so they had to force people to work. Let's see what else she has to say.
Freedom for the enslaved.
So when capitalism really took its roots in like the 1820s, slavery was the norm around the world already, okay? Not just with the transatlantic slave trade, but also with like the Barbary slave trade in North Africa, where they raided European villages and took millions of them slave. But the first countries to abolish slavery formally were capitalist ones: Denmark, Britain, the United States, especially the hyper-capitalist industrialized northern United States, which had abolished slavery completely by 1803, which was 5 years before Lincoln was even born. The founding fathers of this country were abolitionists. They just didn't know how to abolish slavery without tearing the country apart because King George III had woven it into the fabric of the colonies. These are the countries today that have the biggest slavery problems. And this is the Heritage Foundation's Economic Freedom Index, which judges a country based on how capitalist it is. The farther down the list you get, the least capitalist a country is, the more of them you see that are on that list of countries with slavery. The Mises Institute, probably the biggest capitalist think tank in America, writes about how anti-capitalist slavery was and how slavery held the South back. It prevented them from industrializing. They made less money because of slavery.